Hello, this is Art Johnson, and we're really privileged today to be with a good friend of mine, Dee Williams, and we're here to talk about good news.
Hi, Art.
Hey, Dee is a really an accomplished author, a photographer, and yoga instructor and community servant who's been doing a lot of really good work in the community, and I just thought it would be a real honor if we had Dee online and we can ask some questions about the things that you've been involved with. You've been doing this for a while. You teach yoga?
Yes, I've been teaching yoga here in the Seattle area for about 7 years.
7 years. Wow. So what motivated you to get into yoga and to start teaching it?
Primarily it was my own path of healing, primarily just healing myself from a lot of stress, work-related primarily. And what I found is the benefits of yoga were tremendous in that process, and therefore I just had a calling. My heart just opened in order to allow me to want to share this with other people.
So how did you study? How did you get into it?
I went through a traditional training program. There are standards for yoga teachers, and so the program I went through was pretty rigorous, and it took a while to get to that level of being called a certified yoga instructor, but I accomplished that, and once you do that, then you're able to go out and offer that to your community or as a service to others.
One of the things that many of us who are new to yoga haven't understood is that it's more than just exercise. There's a whole spiritual path that I've been around people, and then I've discovered belatedly they're into yoga because they have a certain aura that they carry, a very peaceful space that they resonate very nicely. And I was privileged because you actually invited me to one of your Buddhist sessions. You have your yoga is Buddhist based, right? Basically,
Well,
saying, you know,
it's two-pronged for me.
Yes.
I have my spiritual path. I do study the philosophy and Buddhism. And yoga in itself is also a philosophy and a path.
within itself.
Within itself. So what I consider what I'm doing is really finding where there is confluence or a connection between the two paths, and it's a sweet connection.
And you're right in the middle of it.
I'm very much enjoying that part. And you're right. We did meet at a point when I was sharing a bit more with you about the Buddhist philosophy.
Yeah, I just was taken up in the chanting, and it was so. Even after I left, it was still there. You know, the energy was still there. And you recently, and thank you so much. You sent me a copy of your book, which I just love. Tell me about your book, which is all these marvelous. Tell us about the name of your book and its conception and what you were intending with it. Tell me.
Absolutely. The book is called Bodhisattva Wisdom, and the Bodhisattva is a term in Buddhism which really means someone who is in service to others as a practitioner and a person who studies the philosophy of Buddhism. And so that's really the title. But the book is really poems that have been collected in my own writing for over 30 years. I've been writing poetry since I was a kid. And I have been collecting those poems, holding on to them. They're on notepads and all kinds of little sheets in a folder. And finally, I decided that I wanted to put the collection together and publish them at one time.
And there's some gorgeous photographs that are from the Pacific Northwest primarily.
And the photos, again, are very much inspired. I love taking pictures of nature, so the book is filled with several other photos that I've taken around the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah. I related to some of them. You had someone that's kind of like Bob Marley. It was kind of it was really this almost rhythmic, just reading, listening, reading it and then feeling what you were feeling, because I had related to Bob Marley. And so are you self-published? How did the book come into?
Yes, the book
emergence?
actually it came through as a inspired work to combine the photos with the poetry.
Yeah.
And then the journey to get the book published was my own journey as a publisher to take that step, that next step, and make it happen. So I did have to learn a lot. It took a lot of trial and error to get it right, because
Yeah.
I did submit to other publishers and
Yeah.
things going the traditional path. And then a friend of mine, who actually is a local published author, recommended the self-publishing route, which I
Yeah.
had not even considered.
Yes.
And then once I learned more about it, it
Yeah.
just fell into place and worked out for me.
Well, many of us have books emerging, so you're an inspiration to me because I have several things cooking. But that's so neat. And I also first met you through some of the fine work that you were doing with Holistic Health, a book reading group. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the great things that I discovered in my journey is that learning and getting information that is helpful to you for your healing is very important. So one of the things that I was inspired by was some of the books that I've actually read myself, or books that were recommended to me. And just the idea came amongst a group of us one day that maybe we could start a reading group. And what we mean is a reading group of people that are really interested in health and wellness. They want to learn for themselves or have somebody help them get books that we feel are great books and recommend them so they can read them at home.
And take charge
or
of their
come
own health.
together and
Yeah.
do your own thing, Learn
Yeah.
what you can, get what you can from these great authors, and then take it back home to family.
How many years have you been doing that? It's been a while.
That group has been around for quite a long time, and it's still going in different forms, but I think we've hit a sweet spot with the community, and
Yeah.
people that are interested are still with us.
And it was really interesting talking about technology. You do a radio show, don't you? Do like a web talk radio show?
Yep, there's a talk show associated with the books. So we read the books, and then we have a review process. So we can talk about the books online.
So people can chat
come
and
on
weigh
and
in.
join in on the radio program. And then we do special
Okay.
topics with
Yeah.
special guests who come on to the
Oh,
show.
wow, that's exciting. And that's going to continue then, right?
Yeah, the idea is to keep that going as well.
Yeah. And you were telling me that you even have people from outside of the state that know about your existence, right? And are
Yes.
asking about.
Primarily through our Facebook page for the reading group. We've
Yeah.
attracted quite a broader audience outside of the Seattle region. So we have people that are interested in what we're doing from just all different points. We see people coming in from all parts of the country, either checking us on the radio show, listening through the archives, or coming on to the actual website.
That's a great thing of this virtual world. You can actually have a broader community than just in your local place. So that's neat. So how many members, or how many regular readers do you have that come in and
Well,
out?
with the radio show, we've hit over 40,000 listens to our show in the past, say, 3 years.
Yes.
And then with our book club, it's variable because
Yeah.
we don't really keep numbers on that. Primarily, what we try to do is encourage people to read the books, either check them out at the library or come to the reading groups. We have special events throughout the year. Once a year, we have an annual event at the end of the year where we
Yeah.
all come together as one. And on those events and those occasions, we probably turn out maybe 40 to 50 people.
Wow, that's great. So tell me, what next? What new? What is in your immediate future that you're working on these days?
Well, just around the corner, in a very short term, in about a week, we're hosting the very first Natural Wellness Conference, which is inspired by all the work that as a community we have been doing in this process of learning more about health and wellness. We're inviting a prominent speaker joining us for that. Dr. Scott Whitaker will be coming to Seattle. He's the author of the book Medicine, and we've invited him as our keynote speaker, and we've arranged for a whole afternoon of interacting with him as our keynote speaker, and as well talking and meeting and greeting other local vendors. So we're really more about really supporting the local entrepreneurs who are in the health and wellness business or
Products
in some
or
way
services.
affiliated with their service and products in that way.
Okay. Well, this is really, really exciting, and I'm going to be there. So I'm trying to do my piece to help document. We talked about documenting because, see, there's the pre-experience, and then there's the during experience, and there's the post-experience to leverage that. And this is an annual event, right? So you want to actually keep this going.
That would be the plan.
Yeah.
We want to definitely keep it going. So we look forward to everyone coming out.
So my spiritual calling is to be a messenger of good and to attract more of it through the process. So hopefully this video will do that.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, this has been great talking with you.
As well.
And let's see how this comes out on YouTube.
All right. Then.
All right.
Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much.
Okay.